Just gonna wait for a couple more people to join. I see Afrohaus is in the house.
I know I can't hide from a memory. Day I've tried. I keep saying,
Where is my question?
again I've lied.
Alright, Afrohaus wants to join your live video. Appreciate that, Law.
What up?
Hey!
Can
You guys
see
are
us?
sideways.
Oh, we're sideways? Hold on. We're charging our phone.
It's gonna die.
No, it won't die. I'll just.
When it dies, it dies.
Alex!
What up?
What's going on, Alex?
Oh my god, hold on. I'm gonna turn down these slow jams because I can't hear you as well. I'm good, yo.
What are you doing?
Talking to you guys on IG Live, you know.
Lit.
You guys are safe and sound in Connecticut, I heard.
Man, we're good. We're blessed, man.
Yeah, bro.
Hella blessed, bro.
We're in Connecticut, just,
Where in Connecticut are you?
So I grew up in a town called Madison, but my parents sold my childhood home, and now we're in New Haven. But
Okay.
yeah, we're like, I don't know I think it's called City Point, but it's New Haven. Like, we're right on the water.
Right on the water.
Nice.
That's dope because New Haven's like, I mean, it's obviously a city, but it's not like New York. Like, it's not anywhere near as big. Like, I've definitely been to New Haven quite a bit, Danbury.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're East Coast.
Yeah,
New England squad. I love New England.
Yeah, man. There's
love
so many cool little cities out there and stuff, I mean, if you
Where are you right now, in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
La La Land.
What's good
Can't you
in
tell?
LA?
Doesn't it look like I'm in LA?
Definitely. Definitely. It looks like you're on a Zoom call, but you're not really.
You already know, bro.
Is that the real background?
Yeah, it's my little studio.
I swear, like, you really went in setting that up, man. Like, that's like.
No, that's what it looks like anyway. But I got a couple of lights on here, but
Damn.
Right.
Okay, I went a little bit above the neon. This isn't normally there. I have to add that.
Nah, I like it, man. I like
Hey,
that.
Posty.
I like that, man.
It looks like a Zoom background of a place you
Right?
want.
It's like a default. Yeah. I lit incense for you guys too, but I don't know what the hell happened to it.
Oh, we just lit some Palo Santo for you.
Oh, okay.
It's good, family.
You know what it is? It's like sometimes you ever light incense and then get too excited and then it just burns the whole stick. I think that's what happened. I think I got so excited that we were about to do this that I think that it burned the entire incense.
Hey, well, that's not a bad thing, man. That's not a bad thing at all.
No.
I'm digging,
Worst things happen to people when they get excited all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try not to get excited about anything.
There you go. Got a little.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Perfect.
Nah, I just got off the phone with my buddy, and we were working on some records for Fast and Furious soundtrack.
Okay. For a
And,
new Fast and Furious soundtrack?
Huh?
For a new Fast and Furious?
Well, for the one that's supposed to be coming out, like, a month or less.
Okay. Fast and Furious 14 or whatever?
Yeah, dude.
275.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I lost track after like 80.
I'm like, dude, y'all still out here making Fast and the Furious movies?
They're so good every time, though, honestly.
You can't go wrong with, like, fucking fast cars and, a bunch of, action.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys, what kind of stuff are you guys doing for that? Are you guys both working on that, or is that just you and your friend, or?
We're both always working on everything.
Okay.
She gives me a lot of inspiration and, like, vibes, you know what I'm saying?
I have a ditty of Greg's
life.
Diggy Mace.
I can start calling you Wave Diddy.
Wave Diddy. Please call me Wave Diddy.
I'm updating my pin contact of you.
Oh
You're
my
now
God,
following
that is my new hashtag, Wave Diddy.
Wave
Yeah.
Diddy.
Pretty much.
Wave Diddy do it, baby.
It's hard though, because we like have to give him feedback, and we're also married, so you know.
Well, we're gonna talk about all that. I'm gonna bring it back now, and I do want to talk about that music. But let's go into this in a little bit of order here now for some people that might not know who you guys are. Let's talk about Afrohaus a little bit, and then I do want to talk about the music. I want to talk about the wave. I want to talk about all that stuff. But let's talk about Afrohaus. Let people know what it is. Now, Afrohaus, you guys, you started it out on the West Coast, right? But you guys are from the East Coast. And you guys produce events, you produce content, you're cultural curators, you do so many different things. You're a record label. I know that's more like the other side of things, but why don't you let us know how did Afrohaus form?
Well, honestly, I was saying a prayer. This prayer, we're Baha'is, so from the Baha'i faith. And there's this prayer, and I said it for the first time, and literally, as cliche as it may sound, I had like this vision and this dream, and it like first kind of manifested itself as like a project. So Greg was like, oh yeah, so he like started producing all these like they're like beats, but like more like production masterpieces, I'd like to call them.
Cinematic.
But it was like a departure from the music we were making, because it was very like beats, and then we're like, oh, let's bring in a trumpet player, let's bring a piano player, and it was just like a vibe. It was like 19 minutes, I think, and it was just like this vibe. And then literally a friend reached out and was like, so we did that, and then one day I had the file, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna upload this file to SoundCloud. I don't care what anyone says, like, I know this isn't our music. And I secretly went and uploaded it. And then hey Debbie. And so then literally a friend, Kashif, hit us up and was like, hey, we have this room at it's called Juliet now. Juliet in LA. And he's like, I have this room. Do you guys want to curate this room? And I was like, funny thing, Kashif, we have this new thing called Afrohaus. So yeah, we can curate this room with our new Afrohaus brand.
That's where we started?
Yeah.
That didn't start at the restaurant?
Mark, who's here, piano Mark, is literally on Afrohaus Volume 1.
Yes, he is.
His piano's insane. I just mentioned you, Mark. Mark's piano.
When was this all occurring? Like, what time period was this? Was this like 2017? Because I know this is before I moved out here.
Yeah. So it's 2017. We were living in Calabasas. Mark is our neighbor. He came over and played these incredible pianos on Afrohaus Volume 1. And it just like was this vision that kept forming. And then literally the next week,
you laid a sick piano piece.
Sick piano.
It was like
These pianos are nuts. Mark's an insane piano genius. Piano Mark.
I gotta hear this.
Bro, it's about
and then the guitar's like
10 minutes in, because the track's like 19 minutes long.
That's great. Yo, send me that, because that will take 19 minutes out of my day, which I greatly need.
Yeah, I will send it to you. And so we did this event.
We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it tonight.
It was dope.
Okay, we did the event with Kashif. Where was it?
It was what's that?
Union.
It used to be called.
It's called Juliet now.
It's called Juliet.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
It's not called. It's not called Catch One.
Oh, maybe it's
it's in like Mid City.
Yeah, Catch One.
Like
no, I think the woman's name is Juliet, actually.
Like, what
anyway,
are you talking about?
I'm just trying to give you the sequence of events.
We gotta.
Is that place that it's Catch One now, right? It's got like the
Catch One, but I think her name is
neon
Juliet.
sign.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, she has a room in the club called Juliet. The woman who started it is an iconic woman of color. I'm probably gonna say this wrong, but she was a lesbian, and she was like,
she was
really,
an LGBTQ person.
Okay. And she was really an advocate for the community back in the 70s, and that's where she started Catch One. So I think her name is
she's an OG. So she's like she's OGB LGBT. Yeah, mad.
Yeah, that's
So we
that's
did
a
it
new
there.
hashtag.
So then we did it there, and then literally the following week, this restaurant in Beverly or West Hollywood was like, "Oh, would you want to do it here?" And we were like, "Yeah, of course." So we do it there, and then like 150 people showed up. We were just like, "What?" That was crazy. And then
All happening,
It was
right?
ring number,
literally
like, hold
my
up.
boy. Oh, what?
What just
Did
happened?
I flip the camera? Damn.
Yeah,
How did I do that?
I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm back. I was trying to wave to people.
So basically, what happened was this: people pulled up to the party. I was playing everybody's music that I produced for, which is like which is like always part of my vision as a producer. I always want to like create events and like opportunities for us to share the music that we make. It's like it's always been like a big thing for me. And so like I was working with a couple of artists at the time, and I brought them all out on stage. I was like playing the records, like hyping the situation up. It was like it was a mad thing,
like so you're like producing an event like slash like show like label showcase almost. Like
yeah.
from
That's
head
what I
to
would
toe
call it.
curated.
That's what I would call
Head
it.
to toe curated.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah,
some,
and
But
then-
that is some shit that Diddy would do. That is some shit that like you're coming to my event, like everything here I put together.
Hear
Like
my
not
artist.
but like this is like a tightly curated thing. Like so that I appreciate that. That's so dope.
Bro, because there's so many dope artists. So
Thank
yes,
you,
so
man.
Greg and I obviously had two different. We were just like really into it, and then we did it at this restaurant. Then the restaurant's like, "Would you want to do it again next week?" We're like, "Yeah," but in the meantime, our boy Lamar at Airbnb
What up,
hits me
Lamar?
up. He's like,
What up, boy?
Lamar was like, "Yo, we're about to
Thanks,
launch this thing with Airbnb called Airbnb Concerts. Would you guys want to do anything?"
And Kelly was like,
And I was like, yeah. We have this new thing called Afrohaus. We'd love to.
same
Come
time,
on.
when you build something, the universe automatically creates an avenue.
Yo, there's this word that everyone in LA says. It's called manifest, and you guys were doing that shit then. They don't say that word as much on the East Coast, but it's definitely a thing out here. But you guys were
Yeah.
you guys
And
manifesting that
it
shit
was
in
like
real time. No lag.
saying yes, just like, because I was like, we got some, like, I feel like I got some, I don't know, people were just like, what are you doing? Like, you already are in the wave. Like, what is this thing? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's from God, and I really believe in it, and I really believe in community.
It's lit,
Mhm.
And then the universe literally kept presenting all these different opportunities.
Let's get it, and let's get it popping.
And while you said that, I just want to stick to one thing you just said before we go too far from it. The community aspect, like I always thought, like, cause so like when you guys were out here, like I was like, when you guys would do some of the bigger events, I was helping them out with some of the production stuff and like tie some stuff together.
Talk about it.
And including their wedding.
Including our
was
wedding.
there. It was
The
definitely
biggest production of them all.
But
Yeah.
definitely was. But I always thought that the community aspect was like the strongest, like most unique part, because there's like so many people put things together, but they're thinking about the dollar signs at the end of the day. You guys are like bringing people together. You guys are forming a community. And honestly, since you guys left, like the community's still there, but like I feel like you guys are really the glue holding it together. So that's like, I mean, that's a whole line on its own,
Yeah, bro, you know what it is? So
What?
it was funny that you brought up, because of it started from such a spiritual place, there was never really, and our families, PS, have been like, because we were like, to do these events, remember, we started doing them like twice a month, then we were doing some weekly, then we were doing some every 2 weeks. Greg and I would literally put our rent on the line to make sure they would happen.
I don't suggest anybody.
We don't suggest this, but it was just like,
Well, I mean, listen, it is cool.
and we weren't trying to go get money from like sponsors. That was a big thing, like
Which we should have.
But it was more about building community, because I feel like, and Mark knows this, like we were in Calabasas. We were living in Calabasas for a really long time. So when we finally decided to like emerge from Calabasas, we had gone through like our own personal trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of all around the same time. So it was just really important to build community in a really authentic way, similar to like how we do on the East Coast. Do you know what I mean? Like community is just community out here because we all are just like, you know, and New York is just a little bit different than LA because people are around each other.
Yeah, you know what someone said to me like last time I was in New York, and it really brought out the differences between the two. They're like, in New York, when something's going on and people know that you're in the scene or whatever, you literally just pop out your door and you get swept up into it. In like LA, you need to know where to go and you need to know who to get involved with to get part of that. It's a little bit more like you have to be a little bit more proactive. In New York, it's just like if they know you're clicking, like, you know, you just get swept up in it. So it's to put a community together out here. It's definitely, I think that's like definitely really powerful and more difficult, I would say. Not that you can't have the same things, because it's really like there's like cool people and, you know, there's not so cool people anywhere you're going to go in the world. But I think that was like, that really stood out to me, you know, and I think that applies to kind of what you were just saying, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I think that like you said, like LA, everyone's a little more distant. So the fact that we were just trying, like, we really just wanted to create space for people to like feel comfortable. Like there's so many transplants in LA. Like, bro, like at Hollywood, that energy is very real. And it's hard if you're new to LA because for me, at least, LA looked different than it actually is. And so, like, when I was on the East Coast and living in New York, it seemed like it would be a much more different experience than what I actually experienced in LA. And I think a lot of
Hollywood, for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of transplants, like, we go through that, and that there's like a transition period. Like, who am I? Where's my community? I just want like real friends. Like, I just want people to like me for me and like nothing else, like not looking you know, for my connections or my relationships, just like a really safe environment. So that was like the real vibes.
Yeah,
the real vibes. But at that time, so you said that, you know, Airbnb you had a friend that was at Airbnb, he had approached you guys about getting involved with them, and all these things were coming together at once. So what was like that first experience like, when you guys like actually tied it together with Airbnb?
You want to answer that?
Sure.
And where and what location was that at? I remember the first time I went to one of your events, because my business partner Leah, she had told me, I didn't even know who the hell you guys were. She was like, yo, there's this thing and they're doing this thing at this cafe, and, you know, they're all from New York. I feel like you'd like it. And I was like, you know, I had like something to do and I just decided not to do it. I ended up going to whatever that cafe was.
With Love.
Huh? Was it at With Love, or was it in West Hollywood?
I'm positive.
I think it was out With Love. Yeah. It was like a store in there.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And it had like a backyard and everything too. But when you came, we were inside the front, like where the marketplace was.
Oh.
Yep.
That's.
I remember when I first.
Because you knew Coco.
Yeah, I knew her through mutual people, but I had not met her yet at the time. And she was supposed to be performing that day, and I was like, oh, I'll finally meet this girl that like a bunch of my friends and people that I produce for know from New York. And then she didn't show up that day, but I met all you guys. Like, Kiara was the first person I met, and like,
of course, she'll make sure that you meet her.
Huh? I
said, of course, she will make sure that you meet her. She's the first like voice that you're gonna hear. She's Kiara's voice.
Yeah. That was lit though. But so was that, now at that point you guys were already you had your relationship with Airbnb, so that was, because I think when I RSVP'd to the event, it was through Airbnb at that time, right?
Yeah. So we even still work with Airbnb, and we're like working with them on some stuff, like in this time, like we will be launching soon. But yeah, we kept the relationship going with Airbnb for a really long time. Like, they've been a great sort of like partner, and they really were building out this concerts platform, and they made Afrohaus sort of the face of it. And
you guys I remember seeing you guys in the commercials before I knew who you were. So these guys, you know, they were, you know, when Airbnb was pushing that, you know, they, you know, for their Instagram ads, and I think it was on television too, right? It was like everywhere.
Yeah, I think it was people would hit us. We didn't have like cable TV.
I haven't watched cable since like high school.
Yeah, so we don't. I know that it, like, people would hit us all the time, They used one of our songs, Gymnastic on Fire. Like, we gave them approval to use it in ads. They flew us up to San Francisco to like perform, and like they were like, they've been really awesome. I think it was awesome because we were new and they were launching something that was new, so we were kind of like in this new world together.
There you go.
Yeah, it was cool.
They need the cool hip energy, and you guys need the bread. There
Yeah.
you go.
We need some clout. I was kidding. No.
Yeah.
It was cool. We've always believed in tech. Like, I'm even working with like a tech startup now. Like, I just love tech. I think tech is like obviously the future, and so it's just really fascinating to work with like different tech companies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's been a beautiful experience.
It's a great experience. You guys were out in LA for like 3 years, right? Because I've been out here for
4
about
years.
You're 4?
4.
It was about 4 years that we were out there.
Yeah, we moved in 2015, and then we moved to the UK at the top of 2019, came back for our wedding, and now we're back in New York.
East Coast. You're back in New York. Now you're out here for a few years. You guys established Afrohaus out here, which was definitely a really happening event. We did some, that event that we did with the with Jidena performing at the Mayfair Hotel. Man, there's like 500 people there. It was like the whole ballroom filled. That was like, that was what, the end of 2019 or 2018?
Yeah, 2018, December. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big show. And then now you guys...
shout out to you really quick, because you definitely came through. Alex has always come through with us with the sound, because I feel like one of the things, like, we just obviously started Afrohaus from a place of love, but like Alex came in and was like, you guys need to figure out the sound. And he always would come through and be like, no, you need this, that. I'll bring this. I'll find that. This is what you actually need to make this a good experience.
Well,
and
you said you love the tech, so we got to bring the tech in, I mean, that was my background, was just doing event production and, anything involved. I mean, I haven't done sound, and that background looks fire on this shit. I'm going to keep that on. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I saw, kind of what we could build up a little bit, and didn't, have to financially cost anything that was going to hurt us. So might as well make it happen. So
100%.
Yes.
We're so grateful for you.
Yeah, we'll keep it moving in the future. But okay, let's get back on track here. So, you recently relocated to the East Coast. Got a couple notes over here. It's kind of awkward to look over here, but it's where my shelf is.
Okay.
After a few years in LA, how's it been being back? During a hectic time. Now I know you're staying with Kelly's family in Connecticut.
Yes, we are at my parents'. It's so fun because our dog. Oh, we'll bring Layla in at some point.
You gotta bring the Pomeranian princess in here.
She looks crazy right now. She just got a bath, but they can't do haircuts for another 3 weeks, so she's like a big poof ball. She looks hilarious.
That's exactly what I need in my life right now.
Yeah, she's so funny. So we're back on the East Coast. We are, I mean, did you ask a question? Did I answer your question?
We're back on the East Coast, and how's it been being back? I mean, it's probably better being closer to your family. I mean, obviously, Greg, you have your mom's in New York, and your dad's. Are both your parents in New York, or?
Well, I have my sister here. My sister is in New York. She's in Brooklyn, and my Kelly's family is
here.
Tons of family.
Yeah, that's good.
Great.
And we have like extended family. Like, I think one of the related to Afrohaus, real reasons we kind of like have planted down is that we really got involved in the East Harlem community in New York. So specifically with Afrohaus, hosting events in the community, and just really seeing like a need for arts programming in like East Harlem is kind of like the last of Harlem not to be fully gentrified,
Harlem is super dope.
Yeah, so it's been awesome. And Greg launched What's up? Greg launched a Afrohaus Young Creators Program.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
let's
so
talk
he's
about that.
talk about that, young set.
Let's talk about
And
that.
East Harlem as well.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. Like, basically, it's like teaching kids about podcasting.
Okay.
So we're centering in on like empowering young voices to like form opinions about what the things that are going on in their communities. So I teach them how to like, come up with topics. Like, we were coming up with like different names for how can we get the program in Philly? Oh,
There you go,
yeah,
bro.
we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
Yeah, 100%.
So we've been doing that for the last couple of months. Then obviously, with the quarantine situation, things kind of got a little bit different. So
Right,
my
but
buddy,
it's a perfect time for like, I mean, again, that's where that technology comes in because, through things like this, it's like, and, 5G, that's a whole other thing, but I think 5G will really make it so it's easier to like stream and teach things, but it might be easier to get brain cancer. I don't know. We don't want to talk about all that negative stuff right now, but it could be helpful for everything that's going on. It's coming like it or not. So unfortunately, we got to use it to the best of our ability. But that could really help, I mean, like we are all stuck in and it's a great time to learn and for people to teach,
Yeah.
So it's a skill that I think kids can use, but not just kids, but like adults too. Like anybody who's into media and who wants to share like their opinions and share their voice.
Mm-hmm.
This program is for them, and we're gonna be bringing it to Los Angeles. And
Woo!
I just want to make it clear, like we're in New York, but we're also in LA still.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna come back to LA and do a couple of events.
We had flights. We had to cancel them.
Yes,
I
we
know.
had to. Unfortunately,
I know, it's rough.
I know, but it's okay.
It's okay. We're gonna be back out
Everything's temporary, and again, using technology, I mean, there's still so much you can do, using
100%.
technology. So just we got to figure all that stuff out. Do you guys miss the West Coast, and which coast is better? And you can't say that both are the same because I already know what the answer is. I already know what you're gonna say, but I want to hear what you guys say.
Obviously, the East Coast is better. I mean, there's like, what is?
Come on, what do you think I'm gonna say? Tracksuit like this, a hat like this. I'm gonna say West Coast better. I love both, but I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah, like if you have to, if it's, I don't know, LA is awesome. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. However, there is such an energy in we do a lot of work now in East Harlem with music and the Young Creator Program. And bro, just like the community.
It's the community.
It's just like a real community. It's amazing. It's like this is because you can just feel like this is where the culture is created. Like this is where it comes from. Like people 100%. Living their lives unapologetically, and it is nothing. It is so it feeds my spirit so much that I can't imagine like not being bi-coastal ever again.
No, I feel what you're saying. I mean, I think I told you we were talking like a few months ago. I'd gone to a Tidal event that was up in East Harlem at that what was it? It was like the Latino Museum.
Okay, cool.
Harlem, and it was just like, I mean, it was a corporate event, but it was like, just everyone was like, just like, the differences that I see, and again, it's like there's gonna be, real people kind of wherever you go, but the difference out here is there's so many people that are putting their lives on credit cards and all this stuff just to like, they're coming out here to make it, and they're like, maybe not everyone's coming out here for the right reasons. Maybe people are coming out here and don't have plans or agendas together, or maybe some people don't have the willpower.
Don't go to LA if you broke. All right.
Well, exactly. Do not do that.
You don't do.
Don't do that. But a lot.
But there's also a lot of opportunities.
People are out here to like, to make it like, trying to get into like movies, trying to like, get a hit record out there, and it's like there's a lot of pressure. And New York has pressure, but it's pressure in a different way. It's kind of more of like an expected pressure. Like, how it is on the East Coast. It's like almost like you like kind of thrive off of stress. Like the more stress that comes in, like you can actually like flow it through your body like electricity and actually like transcend it into like greatness. But that's like not a thing here. So it's a little different. But I feel like that stress also brings the community together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you don't have to be in LA or New York to make it or to be successful. Like you
No.
can be where you're at. Like one thing that, I spent a little bit of time in Kansas City this summer, and I automatically,
Greg's
as soon as
family, your family's, all your family's from Kansas City. Well, your mom's not originally from there, but you grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, right?
so my family's from Tanzania, and
Mhm.
my dad was born and raised in Kansas City. So like, we have like a couple of
The
roots
real
there.
Kansas City, not the other one across the bridge.
Right, yeah. I
I
mean,
don't even know the
I
difference.
don't even get into any of that, but
I
like
don't even know.
Yeah.
to be 100% honest with you, it's like the second that I touched down in Kansas City, I automatically started making relationships.
Mhm.
I started performing immediately. I started meeting people, and it just like really brought to like my realization, like you don't have to be in any specific place. Like you have to figure out how to reach your audience where you're at. Like you could have put Kelly and I in Minneapolis. You could have put us in Atlanta. You could have put us anywhere in
We'd be
the
the same
entire
people.
world. We'd be the same people, and we would do the same things. Meaning, like we would always be trying to create a community around arts, around music, and just showing love to one another. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, man.
I think it's just like we're just genuinely want to see people happy. We genuinely want to like give people a platform to have fun, to share good vibes. That's just like what we want to do. Like if we can make some money, okay, awesome. And it's like there's like a model, right? There's like with anything in the world, like there's a perfect model, right? Like
Mhm.
before you went to the moon, you had to put a rocket in the air. Before you put a satellite, like before you go to the moon, you put a satellite up. Then you build a space station. Then eventually you form that proper model where you go from the actual place on Earth up into the moon, and you actually land on the moon. And I think Afrohaus, for me, has always been like this model that we've always been perfecting. And like we always meet more and more people and get in different situations to like perfect the model. Like when we met you, it was like, oh, awesome. Like now the model is getting even more perfected with your
Putting
presence.
pieces together, right?
Mm.
So, bro, first of all, that was like mind blowing what you just did because that just puts so much into perspective. Second of all, so Afrohus is like NASA. So then you guys are astronauts,
For
basically,
Black people.
is what you're saying.
Black astronaut.
Black astronauts, come
That's
on.
another hashtag.
Wave Diddy and the Black
Wave
astronauts.
City Black astronaut.
Bro, if you put that out as a release, I could get some A&R on that.
So I'm gonna shout you out my verse.
Guys, this conversation is going great. I want to know. Let's talk about some of the stuff that Afrohouse has been doing lately. Now, I was tuning into you guys have been doing live streams, and I want to hear some more about them. I tuned in the other day, and you had that artist Ashton Martin on your Instagram, and feel free to plug. Feel free
You know
to
him?
plug. I didn't before I watched your thing, but I did my research. I feel like
He's
a journalist.
really, really, really good.
His voice is like badass.
He looks like a flawless vocal.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
talk about that a little bit, and how did that go, and what kind of other things have you guys been doing as far as streams? And feel free to plug anything you guys are doing or going to do, because audience is here for you guys.
So we basically started these live sessions just as a way to like, I don't know, there's so many amazing artists out there. There's so many artists in our community, like, and we're just like, well, we can have artists just come on our live and like engage with our community. And it's like actually that simple. And so people literally just reach out and we're like, hey, do you want to like, it's like an open sort of platform, you know what I mean? Like it's more like if you reach out and you're dope, do come perform, share your art. And I think what we found and what I found just from the artists that have performed, that it gives in this time, it's allowing like our artist community to still get excited about performing and
So you guys have
preparing.
been having performances. I didn't see when he was actually performing, if he performs, but I saw when he was speaking. So he actually did a little performance on there.
Yeah, so typically that was the first time that we ever did like we go in together, but normally they just sign in and they do like a performance, like a live show. On Sundays we have like a meditation.
So do like a take over your account.
Yeah, and it's like we just really want it to be like a little 5-minute come in, it's like everything's typically, that one was a little longer, but like it's really supposed to intended to be like maximum. Hey, Edie, that's Greg's sister. It's intended to be like a 5-minute situation. So on Sundays we typically have our meditation with Yemi.
I saw that. That was super dope. Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then we have the performances. We've done prayers. We do this thing called Dinner on Us, which is so fun. And
You
basically,
got some cool flyers for that. I saw that.
We DJ songs from our playlist, and whoever guesses the songs, we send them dinner. Really simple, but
I gotta play that.
Bro, you gotta play. It's actually the easiest game to play.
If you're like good at that stuff,
yeah, like
play.
Make
sure you play.
Our
I'm good at
playlist
getting
probably
free.
has 100 songs because it's like we basically every curator does 9 songs, and we've had like I think 11 or 12 curators. So it's like, and we keep all the songs like every week.
And
so
those are the same curators that you guys have been having curate your Afrohaus playlist. Is that the same thing or is that different?
Yeah. So they curate it's the same exact playlist. So then we just play songs from that playlist that's been curated by our community. And then if you whatever songs we play, if you guess the most, right? Like if we play 10 songs and you guess 7 of them, which would, or
like
all
if
10,
somebody guesses 3 and you guess 7, you win.
You win, and we Uber Eats dinner to your house immediately.
Yo,
yeah,
so anyone that's looking for some food that can't, is tired of eating that Campbell's Chunky Soup out of the can, because I know you're on your diet, if you're trying to get some free, fresh food, you better bulk up. Now, can you tell everyone where they can find your playlist? Because for that, but then also to find some dope new music, because you guys will be putting some dope Afrobeats vibes on those playlists.
Yeah, so it's experienceafrohouse.com, and it's like there's a little button right there, or experienceafrohouse.com/playlist, and you can it's on Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal.
Yep.
So you pick your playlist.
Kelly puts a lot of work in.
I actually put a lot of
energy. Honestly, like she, not only is she like a really dope artist, like she's a dope rapper, she's a dope like artist in general.
Yeah.
Like, but she just wears a lot of hats, and like the truth is, the reason why Afrohaus and the Wave and all these amazing things have been able to do so well and to keep growing, because we're still growing a lot. It's like to have someone like Kelly and to have her visionary mind.
You're so sweet.
And to have her, like, she works really, really hard. Like, it's not like, I think people think it's easy. And I know, Alex, you're building a new brand and you've built a number of brands, It's really not easy. Like, she'll stay up until 2 a.m. Like,
Kelly is a hard worker. That's why I fuck with Kelly. I knew Kelly was from the East Coast instantly just because of how Kelly works. You could come on. So
Alex.
A little background for these guys, that anyone that doesn't know, I think, again, most people know, but so they're a couple, but you want to give a quick little background. I got a couple other questions we can go through. I mean, this could be fluid as fuck. It doesn't matter. It's Friday night, quarantine. What are you going to do? Get some cheese, I got my White Claw here, and,
White Claw?
I was drinking out of a Class E glass, but yeah, I'm drinking a White Claw. It's Friday.
What is that?
I just drank a little.
It's these drinks that that white girls drink in the summer. So I'm on my white girl summer right now. It's like a hard seltzer.
Yes, yes, your hustle is epic on the West Coast as well.
Yeah,
You already done know. The hustle is legit. The hustle is legit. Let's go.
So you guys are a couple and you're now married, but you started out as a business relationship. That's correct, right? Before Afrohaus, before anything. So Kelly, you were basically you were managing Greg as a singer at first, weren't you?
Singer. Oh, okay, dude. Well, honestly, so for a while, I was really just focused on like making beats, like producing records, producing artists. So like I produced a number of artists in New York and stuff like that. But I was like really feeling like, oh man, this is tough to do it by myself. Like I need somebody who's gonna hold me accountable, who's gonna teach me and like work with me. Like, and I wasn't even thinking like on the level that Kelly was thinking. I was like, I just need a manager. And Kelly came through. She's like booking me shows, connecting me with different people, buying me lamb burgers, okay, which were really good. And like,
Oh my god, I'd kill for a hamburger right now.
oh yeah, dude, they're phenomenal. And she not only like she did so much more than a manager would do. Like a manager doesn't make all your flyers and book you show. Like you have like
I'm exhausted even thinking about it all.
It's what you call a proactive manager.
Well, she was like beyond
life
proactive.
partner.
Yeah, like she was beyond proactive. So like for me, I was just like, dude, I've never met anybody like her in my life. Like I've never met anybody who was like so legit and so on point to like do all this stuff. So how am I gonna like go anywhere without like my wife? Like, oh, I mean, she wasn't my wife at the time, but like I already knew like this is wifey material right here. So, like
right.
I had to.
Young Boy Cotton. Look, Young Boy Cotton's performing soon on Afrohaus. He's fire.
So follow that guy and check him out.
Sorry.
But yeah, back to my story.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Just gotta shut up.
So like to make a long story short, like I was really impressed with her, and like beyond like the business and stuff like that, she has like a really beautiful heart, and just she has a really beautiful way of seeing the world. She just puts an optimistic spin on everything and anything, and I just find that to be absolutely like the most attractive thing in the world. Like,
oh, thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always wanted to be with somebody who was just like like. And listen, I've been with like ratchet like girls. I've been with like Dominican girls from the Bronx. I've been with like I've been with all kinds of different vibes. I've been with white girls, and like not that this is about that, but like I just feel like this is very entertaining for me. But like, nobody in the world was as special as her, and like the way that she treated people, because she was always so sweet to everybody, but then the way that she also kept it real. Like I saw her turn up one time, like we were on our way to A3C fest in like it's like a festival or something like that.
A3C in Atlanta.
And like for the first time I seen her turn up on somebody, but it was not even for nothing crazy. It was more like she just turned up on somebody because they were like, oh, something about ratchet women or something like that. And
ratchet women. It was something like ratchet women should be called bitches. And I was like, nobody should be called a bitch. I don't care. And I'll fight to the death.
Yeah, and she got really passionate. She was like, no,
I was in a car full of 8 men.
I said, I don't think so. That's not it. She got crazy.
Typical of my life.
I was like,
right, they're not expecting someone to be like that in Atlanta. They're just like, just
go with it. And it's like, I'm not going with it. Okay.
Yeah, it was intense, but like it was really, really beautiful to see her.
I've only seen Kelly turn up once before, and I think it wasn't even that bad. It was the wedding day, and she was stressed out about something, and that was the only time I've ever seen her stressed ever.
Damn, I turned up on the wedding day? I don't even remember, Alex. I don't even remember. That day.
That was blackout mode.
That was crazy.
It was amazing. It was a beautiful wedding. Beautiful wedding. So back to Afrohaus, and I do want to talk about you guys and your musical endeavors a little bit more too.
Sure.
As far as Afrohaus now, have you guys like transitioned? Obviously we're doing a lot of like digital streaming stuff. Where like you're doing like the live intimate takeovers and stuff. Now, besides that, what have you guys been doing differently? Are you like, is there any like sort of like rebrand going on? What's going on as far as that? And I'm actually going to combine that with this next one.
Whoop.
What's next on the agenda with no live events in the foreseeable future? What are you guys? Now he said that he's working on these, you know, teaching people how to do podcasting and stuff. But as far as Afrohaus in general, what's on the front?
So
That's an excellent question.
excellent question. So basically, we've kind of developed a 3-prong approach to Afrohaus.
Like an outlet.
Yeah, kind of.
Like a talent,
Before
like a rapper's
Corona,
talent.
it was like we have our jam session, which takes place in the East Harlem community. We have the Young Creators Program, which services the youth in the East Harlem community. And then we launched our Storyteller series, which we did at this amazing venue in Brooklyn called the Newark Project. Beautiful, beautiful co-working space. And so the intention behind the Storytellers experience is really to feature amazing, accomplished artists from our community. And those proceeds go to support our programming in East Harlem. So that's like our ticketed experience. And then what we do in East Harlem is through grants or through or like free, like what we did, the jam session in East Harlem, that's completely free for the community. And we sort of use the Storytellers program to sponsor that whole energy. So that was kind of like that's like the model we kind of like solidified before Corona. And that's just, you know, from our experience doing, you know, stuff in LA, because it's amazing to feature artists all the time, but it's really important to go into communities. So that really need artists, I don't know, highlighting artists, need the arts. So yeah, like East Harlem, that's where we are. We're gonna go to East Africa, to Tanzania. So that's like we had plans for this year to actually, in June, we were going to Tanzania to do some stuff, but not anymore. And
Not anymore. Even though it's probably one of the safer places to be out there, but it's not a great time to travel if you don't have to.
Right. Yeah.
Everything's set back about a year. You know, this time next year, I think things will be a little normal. Yeah.
And also, we have a tech component coming soon.
To Afro, let's talk about that.
We have an app.
We have an app. It's not launched. Okay. We're gonna have to change some things with the app.
Shout out Michael Boyle, you the guy.
But yeah, we are working with the team. We have an app. I think just, yeah, a lot of the app was going to be to kind of help facilitate what goes on in the in-person experience, and kind of like cultivate the community with the in-person experience. So now we're just kind of like rethinking the app.
It's a lot to think about, and it's like you would think that it's simple, but like launching an app is not simple, and like
it's super difficult because first of all, yeah, developers and stuff. I mean, it's not cheap at all either. So
it's cheap, it's not easy, but like you know, luckily we have a really dope team of people who we've been blessed to work with, and
they're good people that believe in the vision, and they just really believe in, like, you know, just the arts and bringing the arts to communities that need it and servicing the arts. And like the music industry, like a lot of us understand what the music industry really is. And so it's not, you know, just because you have, you know, just because you don't have 1 million streams or 1 million followers doesn't mean that you are not $1 million talent. No. And the music industry doesn't really reflect that. And so my personal goal as a person that has worked in a lot of different industries, including the music industry, is to really kind of like level that playing field. And
awesome.
The way that I envision doing it.
Well, keep going at that. So as far as you said, the 3-prong approach that you were really trying to quote unquote manifest in the real world now, are you still able to apply that into the digital world, kind of targeting those 3 different you know, the community concerts? Are you able to still still kind of like go in those three different directions, but remotely? Are you still able to do that? And how are you doing that?
Yeah, I mean, the technology exists for us to be able to do it, but we're really like, honestly, like we're doing a lot right now because a lot of what we did in LA with the in-person experience is testing. So we did so many different types of events. Like literally we did tea parties, we did jam sessions, we did big concerts like the Jenna one, we did the brunch, we did film events, we did so many different things. And for me, that was just all data points to learn. So right now, that's exactly what we're doing with these digital live experiences. And then we'll fully, focus in and like, fully invest in sort of like a digital 3-prong approach. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I like want to bring a really good product to our community. So I don't want to just like do anything. I just want to like figure out like, what are people responding to? Like, what do people actually like? And
aside
then
from memes, what is important in the world?
Yeah. 100%.
Memes are important though, and I would definitely say that they are definitely keeping
That
us
gets
alive.
anxiety because I literally spend more money on graphics now than I ever have.
Great.
Yeah, she spends a lot of money on Afrohaus.
Even in the digital age.
But like, this is the thing. Like, in life, you just have to spend money on what you care about, because you're gonna have to spend money on a bunch of you don't care about too. So like, you might as well spend money on some stuff that actually feeds you, and actually like gives you happiness and gives you a sense of fulfillment. Because at the end of the day,
that money's gone anyway.
The money's going anyway. So, like,
you'll budget yourself around something that's important.
Yeah, and so I don't mind. Like, I sometimes gotta talk to her like, hey, you're spending a lot of money. But
here's the thing: in the beginning, I used to do all the flyers for Afrohaus. I did all of them, and now we have like a 2-person team that helps with graphics, and it just I'm not a graphic designer, so it's like I need to invest in this. Because it's like, I'm not a graphic designer. There are people that have literally studied this. They are really talented at it. I can give them like my vision and they can make a beautiful graphic based on my vision. Whereas if I did it, it would take me 10 hours.
It'd take you 10 hours and you need that time to be able to work in that 3-prong approach. You need to free up your mind so you can be the business mentality that you're there for. You know what I mean? And but it's hard. It's sometimes hard. I mean, I know in my experience, like from my background in doing artist management, it's like I've done so many graphics and stuff when there's just not someone. Sometimes it's not that the money's not there. Sometimes you just can't find the right people to do it. Sometimes you're blessed and you do find the right people that do it. And relationships last for so long, and then sometimes maybe you can't afford to pay someone really what they're worth, and it's like you really you need to put your time into this full-time job. I totally get it. You got to go do this, but if you find those relationships that really work and you're able to take care of people and like at their value, and just I mean, that's really going to be the best situation, because then now you're freeing up your schedule and your time to do what you're really good at. It's the same thing for me. It'd take me 5 hours to make some graphic, but that's really what it comes down to. Okay, I see we're gonna get kicked off in about a minute, so I'm gonna end this real quick, and then I'm gonna go back on, and then I got a couple other questions, and I think Greg said he is gonna spin some new tracks and stuff that we could listen to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know.
I love it.
Heard that on the street.
He got some fire.
Yeah. So I'm gonna end this real quick, and guys, we're gonna come right back. The few people that are watching, and then we will. We'll be right back.
I guess it only goes for an hour. Maybe.
I guess. Yeah.